In this short video on ProSeries tax software, we're going to show you how to file a return and also include a refund transfer. Let's take a look. This is the opening screen of the ProSeries tax program. We call this Home Base, and this is where you add new clients. In the upper left of our screen is a button for New Client File. Simply click that and select the type of product or file that you'd like to create. In this case, we're going to create a Form 1040 return. Okay, the first screen you see when you create a new return is called the Federal Information Worksheet with the taxpayer and spouses and other information. So let's go ahead and enter a taxpayer. We'll call the taxpayer John Jones. Now you'll notice in ProSeries, as you begin to enter data, certain fields start to turn red. That is the program letting you know the exact fields that must be filled out to be able to e-file a tax return. These are the mandatory fields. So we'll put in a social security number for John, his occupation, and his date of birth. In this case, we will also add a spouse to John's return, so we'll call her Sue. Sue's social security and her occupation, as well as her date of birth, 1967. There we go. Now the next areas that are red are the address fields because these are mandatory, of course. So we'll put in 105 Main Street directly to the zip code. Plugging in the zip code gives us our correct city and state. The next section is where we indicate the filing status of married filing joint and where we also add dependents. So let's put in Kelly, Kelly's social security number. Oops, didn't put in enough digits, so it tells me. She is the daughter, so we'll select daughter. And then we put in Kelly's date of birth, 2008. The dependent who live with the child, indicate that. And then for EIC, a qualifying child, and months lived at home is 12. Now the next section is where you would have a couple of questions related to earned income credit. You want to answer these. Is taxpayer or spouse a qualifying child for another? For EIC purposes, no. And do they live in the U.S. for more than half of 2013? Down here in the prepare section is where you can indicate what preparer in your firm is actually working on this return, and then indicating here whether or not you'll be e-filing the tax return. In this case, I'll be creating a federal and a California return. Now, once you've completed the Federal Information Worksheet, it's time to enter the data. So at the top of the screen, there's a line that says Quick Zoom to Form 1040. Now, the data entry I'm going to be using in this example is what we call our forms-based data entry, using page 1 and 2 of the 1040 to complete the return. So let's click the Quick Zoom button. Now we are directly on 1040. The name, the address, and everything else just has pulled over from the prior screen you filled out. And in a forms-based input, it's very much what it sounds like. You're using the IRS form as your guide to how you're going to put in the data. So if your client has wages, you go to line 7, you click the button. You enter the name of the W-2. I'll put in ABC Company, and then you fill out the information on the W-2. So I put in the EIN. Because I've already entered ABC, maybe on this return or a different one, it automatically fills out the street address. So I'm not having to do that for every W-2 where I've already entered the data once. And we're going to put in $65,000 in wages, $12,000 in federal tax withheld, all your box 12 information here, and we do need the state ID number, so that box is indicated with a red background. Now, when I'm done entering my W-2, how do I go back to the 1040 to continue entering all of my other items? At the top right of the screen, you'll notice there's a left arrow and a right arrow. That means back and forward. So if I hit my back button, I'm right back on Form 1040, and here's my $65,000 on line 7. Let's enter interest. Go to line 8A, click the button. We are on the Schedule B screen, so we enter B for Bank of America and put in $500 of interest. They also have interest from Alliant Credit Union, which was an amount of $250, and that's all we need. Hit my back button, I'm back on the 1040. So we've entered very little data so far, but our tax return has been completed already for us. I've entered the name, the address, I indicated that I was e-filing, I dropped in a dependent, and I put in wages and interest. On the left side of our screen are all the forms and schedules that have already been created for my tax return. Now, you do see that on the left, I do have a couple of links that say one error. This is letting you know if you've got any issues in the return that you need to clean up. So all you do is click the link that says one error, In this case, it takes me to the place where I need to enter the date that the PIN signature was entered, because you're having the client, rather than signing the return, is using a 5-digit PIN number. So we're going to go ahead and put in the 2014 date. And then on our bank product worksheet, this is how you attach an RT. So you've done the return, it's ready to be e-filed. You would like to get paid from the client's refund. You attach what we call the e-file bank product worksheet. Now, we work with 2 banks, Santa Barbara as well as Refund Advantage. In this case, it's a Santa Barbara Tax Products Group refund transfer. So let's click there. The only thing you need to do to attach a refund transfer to this tax return is click one box. Okay, it says, how do you want the disbursement to come to the client? Do you want a check, a direct deposit, or would you like it on a debit card? And for 2014, you also have the option of putting it on an American Express Serve card. But in this case, we'll indicate the client is going to get the refund transfer is going to happen. They're going to get the refund with a check. Now, by clicking this one box, you see over here on the left under the bank product worksheet, it has already completed the application for the bank. Pages 1 through 4 and 5 through 6 have already been completed for you. And there is also something we call the RT fee disclosure. So the client's refund, is expected refund, is $7,611. I have yet to put in any preparation fee, but if I did, that amount would be shown here and backed out of the refund. And the only fee that your client will pay to the bank is a $35 processing fee, which indicates it here. So their total refund amount after their tax prep services as well as the bank handling fee of $35 is $7,576. So that's all there is to adding a refund transfer to ProSeries. It's a very simple process with extremely low fees. So thank you for watching.